Since our last meeting last week, how have things been for you?
Well, you've been actually I pretty good. I had a good week this last week. Um, I told you that I kind of in our last session I was able to pass that test that I had in school and everything. And so there was a girl in class and she decided to throw kind of a party for the class to celebrate everyone passing and finishing off, the semester really, really strong. And she ended up coming up to me and inviting me to her party.
Wow.
And I was a little surprised at first because I don't tend to like talk to a lot of people at school. And so I didn't really know that they kind of knew I was there. I just sort of sit in the background and I didn't think I'd get invited to kind of anything. And so that was a pleasant surprise. And so I ended up going. I was kind of a little scared to go, and I kept debating whether to or not. And I I finally convinced myself that I should just go because even if I didn't really hang out with anyone, it just was a chance for me to get out of the house, especially since the week before was just really depressing and stuff for me, and I just needed to get out. And then when I went, it was really nice. It brought back some nice memories. Um, I don't know why, but she reminded me of a family that I had been with kind of from the time I was about 14 to 16. And they were a family that was like a really good time out of kind of all the bad that was going on. Um, they they were like a Christian family and they had a lot of kids, and I was their only foster kid at the time. They had like 6 kids, which was kind of, it was crazy to see from like being one family, because I'd been in a lot of foster homes that had a lot of kids, but like no one was related, and it just was really dysfunctional all the time. And so when I was living with that family, it was really neat to see this family that was all related and they got along so well and they just really loved each other, and they just kind of let me fit in to the family.
Hmm.
um and and then I don't know, as I was thinking back on that family, it reminded me that there that there were good people in my life, because I've just, since being hospitalized and then out and going through therapy and stuff, I just keep remembering kind of all of the bad years and all of the bad things that happened, and I'd kind of forgotten about them a little bit, and that they were there, and they really helped me through a really rough time in my life. I got into high school and I was so desperate to try to make friends. I got mixed up with a bit of a bad crowd, and I kind of got a little bit into some drugs when I was there.
Okay.
And kind of felt pressured into it, because it was the only group at school that would kind of hang out with me and stuff, and they all did it, and so I felt like if I didn't, they'd stop hanging out with me. And I ended up with this family through that time, and they ended up finding out, and I was terrified that they were going to send me back into the foster care system, and they didn't. They helped me through that, and they helped me kind of fix all of that, and get away from some of the drugs that I was taking and stuff. And I don't know, they were just almost too perfect to last. And I guess when I went there, I was just going through such a rebellious phase, and I was just so hateful to the world. And because I'd been through so many homes, I didn't expect it to last, and so I didn't
Right.
really care a whole lot.
Mhm.
And they did, and I don't know, they kept me for years. And for those couple of years I felt like I had a family. And so I don't know, that party, it brought back a lot, but it
Wow.
was some good memories.
Some good memories. Now, Samantha, congratulations on number one, taking a risk to go to a place to risk for an invitation and not knowing what that would mean, but you did that. And also too, for remembering, even among some of the pain and some of the shameful things that you experienced, you were able to recollect some good. It's amazing that even in doing pain and suffering, there are things that we can reflect on that could be hopeful. So let's go back to the invitation. So why were you so surprised that you would be
Well,
invited? What was that
I
about?
I guess, I just, going into school, I just decided I'd kind of keep my head down and just make it through school and not
Sure.
really socialize with anyone. So I tend to sit in the back of the classroom, and I
Okay.
tend to just keep to myself and be really quiet. And so, like, the girl who invited me, she and I had like never talked.
Hmm.
And there's just not a lot of people at school who really like know me. And the only time they really kind of see me or hear me is at roll call, or when we're, paired up for projects or something.
Yeah.
um and I just, in high school, like, you only got invited to parties if you were part of a cool group or
Right.
part of a group. And I'm not part of a group there, but they invited me anyway. So that was, um it's just surprising. It was
S-
something new.
So what do you think she saw? What do you think moved her to invite you? What did she see in you that she felt comfortable to invite you?
I I don't know. It could just be because she was trying to invite the whole class.
Could be.
Um, and maybe just kind of, it might have just been to be nice.
So some people can just be kind because it's just a good thing to do. So tell me about the party. So you go to this party, and I don't. Did you know anybody there? Or what was it like going in there? What was your experience like at the party?
Um, it was it was really fun, actually. I know everyone just because they go to school,
Sure.
but I didn't really talk to, like, I don't normally talk to any of them.
Hmm.
Um, and it was like, it was kind of a nice quiet party. It wasn't super like crazy and loud, and um it just felt more like a lot of friends getting together and just sort of, you know, chilling out and having some fun. And they had like a movie playing in the background, and just everyone was kind of jumping around and mingling all with each other. And there weren't a bunch of little groups. Um, and so I was able to just sort of like stand in the groups and not really have to say a lot or anything, to be a part of it. And so I felt like I was part of it.
That's an awesome experience. Congratulations on taking that risk. So anything else during your week? So you went to so somebody approached you, you went to this party, it was kind of risky to do, but you did it. Anything else?
Um, well, because kind of because of that girl, and I started thinking about that family that I'd been with for a couple of years.
Mhm.
And it kind of made me start wondering how they were doing and everything, because when I left there, it was kind of really quick and abrupt, and I didn't have a lot of time to say goodbye to them.
Yeah.
Um, And so then there was like a part of me that kind of wanted to try to find them and reach out.
Okay.
But I was also like, I mean, it's been years and they haven't tried to find me at all. And I don't want to, like, try to go back into their lives because I'm holding on to something when they've kind of all let it go, and just be like annoying or something to them.
Okay. So it's kind of risky to kind of do that. So is that the biggest fear you have about reaching out to that family, or is there something else that you're afraid of?
Well, so I know when I left, it was not the best time for their
Mhm.
family because so the reason I ended up having to go was the 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 husband, he he passed away in an accident from work, and because of it, the social services thought that the family wouldn't be able to take care of me anymore because they had so many kids, and they didn't really give any of us a choice, and the family was going through that. And I'm just afraid that if I show back up, it'll bring back that time for them. And like, because it's been so many years, they've all probably moved on and kind of gotten over that. And I might go back and just be a bad memory.
Yeah. And that's a possibility. So that's the worst thing that you think could happen if you reach out to them. So what do you think the best thing could be if you reached out to that family?
Um, I mean, I guess I kind of hope that maybe they'd want to kind of let me back in a little bit, and that I could be a part of their lives again. Um, and just over the years, they were really the one family that felt like family. And it would just, it'd be nice to kind of have that again.
It's kind of like that young girl in your class taking a risk to walk over to you to invite you to her house, not quite sure what you would say, but you took the risk, right? It's kind of similar thing in a way. You're taking a risk to reach out to someone that may not expect it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, for her, the worst I could say is just no. And
Yeah,
for that family, it might really hurt them
right.
to
Right.
try to find them.
And that's something that you're gonna have to make a decision on. I trust your judgment on that. So I'll
But
leave that up to you to make a decision. I think both things could happen, but it is a risk. But it sounds like that family meant a lot to you. And on the positive side, like you mentioned, by you reaching out to them, they can really hear a thank you that they may have not heard. But that's up to you. You need to feel comfortable on doing that. Something you may want to think about doing is being that you're creative, is maybe kind of write out in writing what you would say, how you would approach them, things you would do. Just kind of maybe do like a test. You know, just kind of script out, how you would like to approach them and what do you think the response would be. I don't know, just to kind of get a feeling. We could probably practice that here, you know, and see what that's like. But good job, at least thinking about taking a risk like that, right?
well, it it kind of felt like something maybe Sam would do.
Sam, yes, now remind me. That's right. Sam was this character that you've been writing about. So what why would it be easy for your character Sam, for her to do it compared to you? Tell me about how Sam would do that.
Well, Sam, I don't know, Sam kind of has a better feel about kind of people and how
Hmm,
they react to things.
sure.
And um and I think she just has a lot more confidence. Um she doesn't tend to overthink things a whole lot.
Mhm.
She's very much a, act now and suffer the consequences
Ah,
later. Um and I think she runs a lot more on her emotions and what she's feeling at the time.
okay,
And I tend to try to think everything through and everything that might happen and all the possibilities. And I tend to talk myself out of a lot of things.
sure. And that kind of makes sense with your history and your experience. Like it makes sense to be cautious. At the same time, you do see through your character Sam, that she's willing to take a risk. So it's kind of like a balance between the two.
Yeah. Sometimes they're like with her, because, it's like whenever she takes a risk, I mean, again, I kind of have control of how it goes for her
Right.
and whether or not it'll go well. And so I think that's also why she's so confident in it, is um because it's not like real life,
Right.
you know.
It's the control. So being that you've created the world that Sam lives in, you're kind of like a godlike figure. You can kind of control the consequences. Whereas today, um, is the lack of control. That's the scary part. And in your experience, when you don't have control, sometimes bad things do happen. But then, when your friend at school approached you to go to this party, um, you had no idea what you would experience when you went to that party, right? But you took a risk.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's true. It just I guess it just didn't seem as big,
Yeah.
you know. And like, I don't know, I'm also kind of, because I'm so bad at keeping in touch with just friends and stuff. I don't want to try to jump back into this family's life and then maybe have them be okay with it and then kind of scare myself out of that either,
Right.
because that's also scary, is that they might want to reconnect.
And that's scary because
Well, because I don't know, it's just like, once you have something, there's always a chance of losing it.
yeah,
And because people are just so unpredictable, you know, they could be one way today and then completely different another day.
right. That is true.
And so there's part of me that I have such good memories with them that I almost don't want a chance to ruin that.
Yeah, I can see that.
So I don't know. I don't know what to do.
I'll trust that you make a good decision. Just give us some time. At least you're thinking about it.
But besides that, I I had a good week at work.
Okay.
Um
Yeah. You told me about that, but that poor family that was grieving the loss of their dog. So
yeah.
what made this week good?
Um we just had a lot of people coming in that didn't have any like major problems with their pets. They were all
Okay.
really happy about it. And because of the procedures that the vet was doing, I got to help out with some of them because they
Mhm.
weren't really complicated, and they were things that I was able to assist with. And so there was a lot of stuff that normally I just read about in my books at school,
Right.
and I actually got to like try to do it, um and it was a lot of fun. Um and I was just like, after we would do small things, um like people were just so grateful to us for helping their pets. And um there was just it was nice to see a lot of the customers leaving looking so happy, and they were just really thankful to us. And I felt like every time I was, doing one of those procedures and I got thanked and stuff, like it felt like I was wanted and doing something that made a difference.
So interesting. So in your practice as a veterinarian, there's a mixture of different experiences. There can be some very sad experiences as well as some very joyful ones. Hopefully that'll be a reflection of how your life will be moving forward. You will have some very joyful experiences, but then some sad experiences at the same time, but still be able to move on and live your life. You know, congratulate yourself on going back to that job. It would have been real easy for you to quit after that family grieved. I mean, with all that, with the sorrow and how it affected you with the loss of that dog. But you came back to that workplace. What made you go back?
Um, well, funny enough, it was that memory coming back of that family,
Mm-hmm.
because they were there for me through a lot of high school. And especially through the drug abuse and then getting out of it. And I just remember that they would tell me, they're like, you have this second chance, and we're going to help you, and you can do well and make something amazing out of yourself. And um kind of remembering them, I was like, it sort of gave me the courage to go back, because I was like, I can finish school and become, someone amazing and really make something of myself. And I knew that if I can finish school and become a vet, that whether or not I reach out to that family, I know that they'd be proud of me for doing that.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. It's wonderful to hear that you have good people in your life, even though you've had some people that did let you down, and that you allowed yourself for them to serve you or care for you, that you allowed that. Good job for going back to that workplace and serving and fulfilling your dream. Well, we have a few more minutes left. Anything else that you'd like to mention before we have to go?
Um, just that, like, I since kind of I've started talking to you and stuff, and I think I was really overlooking the people I did have in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, I just, since I've been coming to these sessions, I really started looking um for those people and trying to see who was in my life that has really been there for me and helped me. And I realized that there were a decent number of people, and I think I'm really the one who keeps pushing them out.
Wow, that sounds like a little bit of a breakthrough. Well, if you want, I'm big on homework assignments. You could probably write a story about why you tend to push people out, particularly those that who really love and care for you. All right, just keep reflecting on that. That's a great insight. Really, that's a great insight, Samantha. All right. Well, let's end our session here and look forward to meeting with you next week and to get some ideas of how things are moving along for you, particularly as you start thinking about people that you may push out of your life, and then think about opportunities for you to bring people into your life. Just to think about that. All right,
All right.
Sam, good job.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.